Right. I was thinking if I'm South Korea or if I'm Taiwan, I think the lesson is we need to be nuclear as a capability. Otherwise, this too could happen to us.
Right, because nobody wants an all-out nuclear war, right? And Putin has used his nuclear threats very effectively. He communicated right off. It was the fourth day of the war that he pulled out the nuclear card, or even in his speech sort of inaugurating the invasion. He mentions it over and over again, and then he raises the readiness level of his strategic deterrent forces, and it works. It works. It works to keep NATO and the United States out. And what we are also realizing that having spent so much time thinking about how this deterrence works between two nuclear armed states, we haven't spent nearly enough time to think how to deter a nuclear use by a nuclear state against a non-nuclear weapon state. There's nothing to deter Putin's use of, say, a tactical nuclear weapon or any other weapon of mass destruction against Ukraine today.
Dr. Bujrin, final question, only 30 seconds. So how then do we protect against the escalation that you and I both suspect is coming?
There's no easy answer to this question. I think a lot is riding on the outcome of this war. If Ukraine prevails and somehow manages to push Russia out, and if the West helps it to do so, then the narrative is maybe nuclear weapons are not essential, right? Maybe you can defeat a nuclear weapon state without having nuclear weapons. If Ukraine falls, then the nuclear weapons will gain a very different value in the world.
You studied both of these conflicts extensively. You wrote an op-ed about this on CNN.com, and there it is right there, the number that puts Vladimir Putin at risk. Let's talk about the start of the war, the start of the Russian invasion in Afghanistan, some of the similarities. What are you seeing?
Well, I mean, I think the big similarity, I mean, for Vladimir Putin, the big similarity is that 15,000 Russian troops may have died, according to estimates from NATO officials to CNN. Well, the official numbers during the 1980 war against the Soviets is 15,000 Russian soldiers dead. So in 9 years of war during the 80s, 15,000 Russian soldiers died. In 1 month of war in Ukraine, 15,000 Russian soldiers have died. Now, Vladimir Putin understood that the Berlin Wall fell when the Soviets pulled out of Afghanistan. He knows it's not an accident. He was a young KGB officer in East Germany at the time. It was a signal event in his life. So he must be keenly aware that, you know, things can change, not in his favor, if enough body bags start going home. And going further back in Russian history, you know, the Romanovs, basically, they lost World War I. They, you know, first of all abdicated and then were executed. So Putin is well aware of this Russian history, that if you fail in wars, that it could be a big problem for you yourself.